morning, John. Well, here we are in another day of paradise. This season is, for most of us, is starting to wind down. There's gentlemen out there, Bobby McCullough for one, from Williamsport. You'll see him out there in February trying to tramp through the ice on the edge of the stream to fish. So everybody has their period of time when they like to fish for trout and where they like to fish. We have Pennsylvania's blessed with lots of marginal waters, so we kind of have to rely on stocked fish if we're going to have a lot of available trout fishing. You know, if there's only so many people that can fish up Gamble Run in these little tiny streams. It's really nice to catch a wild fish. He represents something that all of us believe in. And it's kind of magical when you catch them. But the fact is, we just don't have a lot of large enough streams to supply fishing for everyone, trout fishing. So we have to take the marginal streams and we turn them into our kind of a dream stream with a high quality stocked fish. Now, I know people say, ho, 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 there is no such thing as a high quality stocked fish. Well, that's, you know, you can come up with any mental attitude toward a trout that you want. And, you know, I'm 79, looking toward 80. I've fished all over. Caught a lot of wild fish, caught a lot of stocked fish. But today's stocked fish, you almost can't tell, well, many times you cannot tell the difference between that and a wild fish. So I think we have to look at our sport, and could we all go fishing in some river that would support hundreds and hundreds of fishermen out there? Is it large enough to do that without encroaching on each other's fishing area? The fact is there's not a lot of places like that left. You have to go out to the west, and it's crowded also. So we're at a point where enjoy what we have, support what we have. I've looked at the fish that the club puts in, and one of my main criticisms of the old stocking programs was that they had no color, their fins were deformed. They really, you couldn't tell it was a trout. I mean, you'd look at it and it was a silver fish with gray spots on it and deformed fins, and it didn't look like much of a specimen of a fish. But today's stocked fish are gorgeous looking. They're heavy. I heard people, well, the big fish don't look like wild fish. And well, okay, maybe they do, maybe they don't. Maybe it's where you caught your last big wild fish and you're comparing it to this. The fact is, they're very difficult to tell the difference between them. If you don't want to fish for stocked fish, that's fine. You know, if you want, go fish for wild fish if you're lucky enough to be in that position and have streams that are available. That's fine. But the fact is, the Fish Commission would be hard-pressed to finance themselves without a high-quality stocking program. I don't think anybody wants to see their favorite wild trout stream with stocked fish in it. I think we can all understand that, but there's a lot of marginal streams that will handle these fish for us. So the club has found a niche. It has done a wonderful job. They have located hatcheries that grow beautiful fish. And I hear all of the pundits, oh, well, I can tell the difference. Well, maybe they can, maybe they can't. Maybe they can in their own mind, but when it all boils down to it, they can't tell the difference. So it's where you caught the fish that they're making that decision on. So let's enjoy the sport. It's a great sport. The Fish Commission is kind of interested, and they should be, on who's putting what into the water. I don't think that I should be allowed to stock snakeheads if I like some famous, Asian soup that requires a snakehead. I shouldn't be putting snakeheads in Pine Creek, or the next guy says, oh, I love lamprey eels. Maybe we should stock those. The Fish Commission does have a responsibility in keeping the streams as authentic as we can. I'm not sure the total definition of that, but if the stream can hold a the cold water fish for a period of time, or even locations within in that stream's area. There's locations that will hold fish. And does Pine Creek produce its own fish? No, it doesn't. But does it hold fish? There's certain sections that do it quite well. They're like deer. You get a snowy winter, the deer head for the swamps, and they get in, they can survive. Can they find food everywhere in 100% of their area? No, they can't. They have to go find it. Trout, wild fish, hopefully don't have to do that, but I know Fishing Creek itself has a lot of dry area on it in droughts, and the fish move around, they come back, and why the stockfish that we put in Pine will move, and they'll find areas as long as it warms up, over a 2-week period. If you get a super hot condition move in on really low water, you're going to get some mortality. There's no doubt about it. But at any rate, the club has been functional. It has provided a wonderful opportunity for those who want to go catch a beautiful fish, wild or not wild. We all know what we want them to look like. The club has accomplished that. It's kind of good if you spend 4 hours driving one way to catch a trout. It's kind of nice to know that you're fishing over fish. You don't necessarily have to be catching them, but it's nice to know that they're there. And that was part of the club's vision of fishing here on Pine Creek. The creek is large enough to handle lots and lots of fishermen. You can fish, 200 feet from another fisherman. It's not going to bother the fish where you are. So it's large enough to do it. You can fish right across from one bank to another from another fisherman. It's not going to impact your fishing. You can have a canoe go and drift by. We've caught trout on dry flies right out of the wake of canoes that are going by. So we all have to learn together, to live together and enjoy our hobbies and respect each other. And I'm like I just said, I'm approaching 80. I've seen all of this. I hear the guys that, I wouldn't fish for a stockfish, and that's if that's their attitude, that's fine. You don't need to go do it. If you're fortunate enough to be able to fish in an area that has wild fish year round, and you're close enough to it, you can go do that without a long trip. You're a lucky person. So let's support the Fish Commission in their endeavors of trying to, I don't know if they're trying to control who's putting what in. I mean, I don't think I should be allowed to have a koi pond and go drain my koi pond and go throw them all in Pine Creek. I don't think that's right. I don't think I should be able to put snake heads in it. But, stock trout from a good hatchery, you would be hard-pressed to criticize the fish other than your attitude toward the name stock. So the Fish Commission needs to improve their attitude toward stockfish. They really, it's been my past, it seems like they've really looked down their noses at a stocked fish. Well, they're put in there to kill and do whatever. Well, they also create a great recreational opportunity, and they can be reused. You can put them back in. You don't have to kill a fish to enjoy fishing. You can go out, you don't even have to catch a fish. I have fished in pools, and all of a sudden there's an incredibly good fish rising in front of you, and you can't figure it out. You don't catch the fish, but you remember the rise forms forming and drifting away. And to me, that was a great day of fishing. Had you hooked the fish, that would even be better. But fishing is something we all do. We all get something personal from it. The club was started to provide an above average fishing condition, not over wild fish. It was provided to provide fishing, quality fishing for the general public on public water at no fee. It accomplished that with your donations, and we would like to really appreciate your support. That has made it. And when the state decided to get into the Keystone Fisheries Project, it looked intently at Pine Creek and what it caused, the excitement that it caused, and they were well aware of what was going on Pine Creek, and they copied it. I think is a great idea. Does the club need to get patted on the back for that? No, not necessarily. The Keystone Fisheries has really provided a great opportunity for recreational fishing, and so our club did. So let's support the Fish Commission, and hopefully they're not trying to come up to say who's allowed to stock and what group can and can't stock. Hopefully it'll be something that will control our future of fishing, and we love your support. We loved it all the time. We put in, I guess, $30,000 worth of fish this year, and keep on donating. I'm doing fewer and fewer of these videos these days as I'm getting farther and farther into retirement. But I always loved. I did it 7 days a week for 45 years. We watched Pine Creek. We lived in it. We lived because of it, and we loved the whole project. So thank you. Continue your financial support of the club. Thank you.